So this is my first trap set. This is what I did, right? So I'm like, all right, I'm going to do this shit. So I started with Shout. This is like my history from that night, so you can see it. I started with Shout, played Let's Get Loud because it was a request, and then played Rock This Party. It was like same kind of thing. Played Vivir. It's like there's a big ass drop, kind of melts everybody's faces off, right? Vivir Mi Vida, Fogo. Then I played Shut Up and Dance because it was a request. I actually hate that song. And then at that point, I'm like, all right, it's time. They're on the dance floor. They're there. I looked at the whole dance floor, right? I looked at them all. I'm like, all right, well, they're all pretty young. They're all, pretty much all young. This is it, Nick, now or never. So I'm like, all right. So I started slow. I Like It by Cardi B, right? Started slow. Not a trap song, but, newer, last few years. Okay, it's a bop, and it's like 130 something, right? Because it's where I wanted to go. After that, went into No Hands. It went off. Like, it went absolutely off. It was insane. No Hands hit, just like, I'm like, all right, well, now what? Shit. So I'm like, all right, well, it works. So let me keep it moving. So I play basic shit. I was like, all right, trap queen, Walk It Out. I do this like wordplay thing. So I go like Walk It Out for like just the chorus, and then I go into Walk It Talk It by Migos, right? Then I went into Dance. And the dance, ass, whatever, like, that, not the, the unedited version, whatever. But, so I went into that, and then from there I chickened out and I went back to I Want You Back. Cause like, I want to, keep it moving. I don't want to do all trap, you got to keep it moving. That's how weddings work. But, that was my out, right? I just dropped I Want You Back, and then bam, it, exploded again. We kept it moving, and I actually went into more hip hop after that. Another hip hop set I did, right, was I started with Jump Around. Let Me Clear My Throat, right? Bring them out, basic stuff. But then I went into Uproar and Freaky Friday, 2 songs I rarely play. Then I went into Dreams and Nightmares. Big risk. I had no idea if they're going to know this. They didn't request this, nothing, right? And I have this this edit, shout out to Spinelli Jones, where it's like Skip the Fire. So essentially, in the beginning, it's like, hold up, wait a minute, hold up, right? And it does it like, for like 4 bars. And then it drops, hold up, wait a minute, you thought, and it drops into like the Meek Mill song, right? And I dropped it there, right? I just scratched it in. And every time it went, hold up, the whole crowd went, wait a minute. So I'm like, I'm cutting out. I'm like, oh my God, it's working. Because I'm cutting it out. I'm like, oh my God, they're saying it, right? I've never done this on a wedding. So I'm freaking out, right? I'm like, God, and I already had backup plan too. I forget what it was. I think I was going to play like something bit like Yeah by Usher or something if it didn't work. Anyway. So they're yelling it. Then it goes into Meek Mill. The whole dance floor explodes. And they're singing every damn word. And this song's like a little longer. So I guess you got to really know your crowd, this sort of thing. But like, it worked out. Afterwards, then I went and their last song was Can't Stop Me, and then I went into that slow song. So like afterwards, I went right into hotel room service and went into 128 because of their last song. But like, I don't know, it just went off. It went off. It's insane. We need to play more trap at weddings, people. We need to, I am going to do extensive studying, and as I find stuff, I'll share it with you guys every week of the show. We do this every week, Tuesday at noon. But as I find shit, I'll let you guys know, and I'll share it with you. But I'm going to do some extensive research of 2010, 2014, in between those years, because I think that's the golden years right now with these 25, 20-something-year-old couples. Relive. I was DJing then, so, I can really, oh, yeah, this was banger, trying to remember a lot of stuff from there, look at hip-hop from there. I really want to start incorporating newer stuff at in my sets, and I don't know, from the reactions I got and from people, I don't think a lot of DJs do this. I really truly believe it's very rare for wedding DJs. If you ask around or ask yourself, do you play trap music? Do you guys play do you guys go into the 70s and the 130s, that type of hip hop? Do you do it? I think it's very, very rare, and I think it's just becoming increasingly more and more. It's going to work. I mean, the tides have changed. You know what I mean? The couples stay the same age, no matter how old we get. They're 21 to 35. And we're approaching this next decade, and I just think it's extremely, extremely. It's important we evolve, and I think this is a big way because a lot of DJs are scared to do this, or most DJs don't like trap music in general. It's a big way to set yourself apart, and I started asking couples during my finals meetings. I had 2 yesterday, and I asked them both. I was like, hey, how do you feel about, I usually ask about EDM, but I started asking how do you feel about new hip hop? How do you feel if I play new hip hop at your wedding? And they're like, well, what do you, the one was like, what do you mean by new hip hop? And I'm like, well, not gangsta shit, but Drake, Waka Flocka, like things like that, like newer hip hop. And they're like, oh, no, absolutely. Yeah, hell yeah, drop that shit. Both of them said, no problem. Yeah, definitely drop it. I'm like, oh, wow. So I'm going to keep this shit moving.